Hi, I'm Robert Conkey, producer on The Legend of Korra at Activision. I wanted to talk a little bit about Pro Bending Gameplay, which is a bonus mode in Legend of Korra that becomes available after you've beaten the game for the first time. So, as what you would expect if you're familiar with the show, you get to play as Korra alongside Mako and Bolin. We've recreated very faithfully all of the actual rules used in the show for this game, and it's pretty intense, as you can see. So you've got the basic overview is you've got one bender of each of the key styles aside from airbending, because there aren't any airbenders left, very few. So you are Korra, you use water bending, but you have Mako and Bolin who use fire and earth bending respectively. And you take on teams of 3, and the idea is that you try to gain territory or knock your opponents off of the ring. And so each of you uses your respective elements and try to knock each other out. We just saw a knockout right here. So if you knock someone out, you just win. You just take the whole game right there. If you don't, and you end up with more territory than the other team, you win that round, and you play up to 3 rounds. So we're going to take a look at one more match that's probably going to be a little bit tougher. This is the Black Quarry Boars. So each team kind of has its own specific characteristics associated with it. So for example, the Black Quarry Boars are known for using lots of counters. So you'll see there's a counter mechanic where if you press the block button right before you get hit, just like that, he just got countered, and then, okay, yeah. So but if you press it right before you get hit, you'll knock it back at your opponent. They actually have a chance to counter that counter and knock it back at you, and it kind of becomes a high-risk thing where the more you counter each other, the more damage it's going to end up doing if it actually hits you. So you have to, it gets pretty intense when you go back and forth a bunch of times. And so that's one of the key mechanics involved in this. Additionally, dodging is really big, obviously. The idea behind, or if you really want to be successful, what you want to do is balance your dodging, your countering, and your actual attacking in order to find the right window to actually hit your opponents. There's also, you can see that your teammates, you can see who they're aiming at, so you can kind of coordinate with them. And if you pull that off right, you can get guys knocked back pretty quickly. And if you're uncoordinated, you may not. So, nice. It's getting pretty intense. It's like the 4th counter, 5th counter. Oh. Uh-oh. So the Fire Ferrets, Korra's team, have been pushed back to the 2nd zone. If they get pushed back one more time, they'll be in the 3rd zone. One interesting thing is the further back you are, the more damage you actually do. It's kind of a pressure thing where you're more powerful the further back you are, but that works for both teams. So there can often be a lot of back and forth of taking zones 1 on each side. And when you get pushed all the way back, you still have a chance to come back, even if it's 1v3. Although it's pretty tough with all that stuff coming at you. So we'll see what happens. Each round is 3 minutes long, just like you saw in the show, and uh-oh. He's just lost zone 1. So now if the round ends like this, he's actually going to lose this round. Let's see if we can get a face-off. Yeah. So close. Got it. Okay. You just need to hold your ground for 8 seconds. So one other thing I'd like to show is in the show, face-offs are a really big deal. They're very dramatic. And it's basically when both teams have an even amount of territory. You actually have to do a tiebreaker, which is a 1v1. And it's really close, so you've got to react very quickly. Counters are huge in this part. Let's see what happens. Uh-oh. Nice. Oh, he dodged it. It's looking pretty good. Oh, the counter. Yeah, so that's what... counters can turn everything around in an instant, so it gets pretty intense. But, yeah, so... The Fire Ferrets lost that round, but now we're at round 2, and it continues for 3 rounds. So even if you lose the first 2 rounds, you still play out the 3rd round. It is a 2 out of 3, but you play out the 3rd round because if you get a knockout, you could just still take the game right there. So Yeah, but that's basically just a very quick intro to the pro bending mode. We're really excited about it. It's looking really great, and we can't wait for people to play it and give us their feedback and enjoy it.